and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way. This is where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. I'm doing the weekly challenge for Inktober, and Inktober was a exercise started by Jake Parker where you were supposed to draw an ink drawing every day or every other day or weekly. So I'm doing the weekly challenge, and for week 2 I decided to do a formal portrait of a zombie. If you're following along with traditional materials, you can use any kind of ink pen that you want. You can check and see if they're waterproof or light proof before you start working with them, and you can go ahead and draw your picture out first with pencil and then ink it later after you've done all the washes with watercolor or inks. Or you can use a waterproof pen and go ahead and draw the whole picture out and then do the washes. You can also do this with alcohol markers if you want to, but these are not waterproof, so you would definitely do your final inking with those after you've gotten your color down. Now, I wanted to make this picture look sort of like the art of Basil Gogos. And he was an illustrator that did all these monster movie prints in about the 60s or 70s. And I really liked his style because he made them bright and colorful looking. And he did Frankenstein and Barnabas. And he even did some more modern things like the cover for Rob Zombie's music and some Star Wars stuff. And I just like his pictures because they're really a lot of fun, and they're bright and colorful, and they're sort of a different take on the old monster movies. And they're not dark and gloomy, but they're really bright and pretty. So I kind of wanted to do that with my portrait here. And he used mostly acrylic and oils, but he did do a lot of things in gouache too as well. And he was also sort of a book illustrator as well as doing movie posters. I have this book in my collection, and it's really a lot of fun to look at. So if you're interested, I'll leave my Amazon affiliate link in the description down below, and you can check it out. So how does one go about getting a zombie to pose for a photograph? Well, I found this really neat app that's called Zombify, and it's available on Android and it's available on iOS. And what it does is you find a picture or you take a picture and you can zombify it. And so I had a picture that I found a Pixabay of a Victorian looking gentleman, and I went ahead and used it and I imported it into the Zombify app. And this is a really neat app because you can do all kinds of different things, and you can change the face on it, the eyes and the mouths, and you can put all kinds of different looking effects. You can make yellow eyes, red eyes, you can make eyeballs falling out, you can make cockroaches coming out of the eyes. You can do all kinds of things, and this app is really neat because I thought that it would just be like a still photograph app, but it moves. And also, it growls at you. So take a listen to this, guys. Isn't that creepy? That's really creepy, but it's funny, and I really enjoyed this app, although I do have to turn the volume down a little because that kind of bothers me sometimes. It's really creepy because he's always moving and he clacks his teeth at you. And anyway, though, it's really great fun, and you can add all kinds of different mouths and, you know, the way the teeth are decayed and the scratches on his face. You can add the one with the maggots coming out of his face. And it's just a whole lot of fun. You can add different weapons. You can add like bullet holes in him. And then you can go back and sort of adjust the effects to fit the face there. And just kind of pull the eyes to a better position and the mouth. And it's really neat. that you can go ahead and sort of customize it to everything. So you can also put him in different places, and it's just a whole lot of fun. And you can save it as a movie, or you can save it as a still shot, which is what I did, was save it as a still shot. And you can also buy some of the special effects, which I definitely wanted to support the developer because they did a really good job with this app, and it's a whole lot of fun. So what I did is I exported it out into Infinite Painter, and I had the final way that I wanted it. And so then I went ahead and got a frame from Pixabay, and because I wanted sort of a Victorian looking frame, since this is going to be a formal portrait, and lined it up also and used some of the photo editing functions in Infinite Painter just to get an idea of a formal looking portrait and to have it as my photo reference. And I really wanted to do this because one of my favorite things in the Disneyland Haunted Mansion is the Hall of Portraits, where they've got all the spooky looking people that change. The girl changes into a demon or a cat demon, and so those were a lot of fun, and I kind of wanted that vibe here, so that's why I wanted to use that formal portrait look and also have him in real formal Victorian looking clothes. And then I played around with the photo that I developed in Zombify and put it through Aviary and Snapseed and Pixlr, just some of those other photo apps, and kind of played around with some of the different colors that you could make him, because I wanted to make them sort of those colors like I showed you in the beginning that Basil Gogos did for some of his portraits. So I just kind of wanted to get an idea of some bright greens and reds, just to see how I could make it look that way. And so here I want to make the oval frame, and so I'm using the guide to draw the oval frame here. And if you're following along traditionally, you can use a stencil maybe, or an oval canvas to draw it on a smaller oval canvas to fit on a bigger one, or something like that, or a dinner plate, just something to give you an oval shape. And then here I'm just kind of sketching it in, and I always like to just start out with pencil, just like if I were doing this traditionally. And so I want to go ahead and just kind of get him situated inside the frame there, and try to see exactly where I want to position him. Like I said, I want this to look like sort of a formal portrait, and so I want to kind of situate him sort of in the middle of it, and just show sort of part of his shoulders and part of his coat that he's wearing. But I wanted to make sure I got all the hat, and I do want to put his glasses on, because that just kind of looks, I don't know, kind of funny. I mean, a zombie wearing glasses, it's kind of funny, I guess. But anyway, so I'm just kind of working on a rough sketch here, and just showing where I would have some of the decay and the scratches and some of the flesh that's fallen out, and make him a real scraggly looking beard, because it's not gonna, if he's a zombie, it's gonna be falling off, or patches of the hair will be falling off, so you want it real scraggly. But I still wanted him to be wearing his fancy Victorian suit, so I went ahead and drew the tie and the coat or cape, whatever he's wearing there, and just wanted to make it look really formal and make it sort of a contrast against this decaying face. And then I went ahead and sort of sketched out kind of how I want the frame. And I wanted to put like a skull on the bottom of the frame, and just kind of make it look a little bit spooky. But I went ahead and just kind of sketched out the general idea of it right now, because I'm not ready for the final details yet. So I just went ahead and sketched out how big it would be, and kind of what the curly cues on the outside would look like, and then I went ahead and started doing a little bit more refinements on the face, and I'm still working in pencil. I'm just using the pencil category from Infinite Painter. And if you're following along traditionally, any kind of pencil will work, just something that you can erase. Because right now you're not doing the final details or anything, so you want to go ahead and still keep this in pencil. Even if you ink it first before you put the color washes on it, go ahead and do it in pencil first and try to get the final details so that you don't have to go over it with whiteout or something if you mess up. So that's what I'm doing here, just working on the mouth a little bit. And I want his mouth to look where you can see it decaying, and you can see kind of the teeth sticking through and part of the skeleton a little bit. And I also want him to have blank eyes. I think that just makes it look a little bit spookier. So I decided on white eyes because that just kind of, it makes things look a little bit spookier. You can do red eyes, or you can do yellow eyes like they had in the Zombify app, or any color really. I mean, if you wanted to do blue, dead looking eyes, those would be fine too. But just something that doesn't look natural, because we want to convey that this is a zombie. So we want the things to look unnatural. And I'm putting some scratches on his face. I like the face from the app that had some scratches on it. That just makes it look more zombie-fied, I guess. And so I'm just kind of working on the beard and making it really scraggly looking, and patches of it are gone, and it's not real well trimmed or anything like that. And then I wanted to go ahead and just kind of make dark circles under the eyes, because that is a sort of a classic zombie look as well. Just put dark circles under the eyes. And then I'm just working on the ears a little bit, and also working on the hat. And I had the hat a little bit too high, so I just went ahead and kind of erased what I had there and just went a little bit back over it. Just trying to get kind of a little bit further down in the frame there, but not too far down. So I just went ahead and refined those. And in the next part, in part 2 for the zombie, I will go ahead and do some more refining and draw out the final details and get it ready to add the final wash to the picture. So thanks everybody for watching. If you're interested in seeing part 2, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for your support. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you later.